All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest mysteries in digital marketing, SEO. Is it just this thing you spend money on, or is it actually making you money? We're going to find out how to prove it once and for all with just one single number. So this is the big one, right? The question that probably keeps you up at night. You're pouring all this time, all this money into your SEO. You see the reports, you see the activity, but can you really say what it's worth? It's this super frustrating gap between all the effort you're putting in and the actual provable value. Well, today, we're going to close that gap. Exactly. I mean, it can feel like you're just stuck in this black box, right? Chasing things like rankings or backlinks, these vanity metrics, without any clear line to your bottom line. It's not like a paid ad where you can see, okay, someone clicked here and then they bought something. SEO, it just feels a little fuzzy. So let's bring it all into focus. Okay, so first step, pinning down this elusive value. It's time to stop thinking about SEO as just, this vague, abstract thing we should be doing. Instead, we're going to start treating it for what it truly is, a totally measurable, performance-driven part of your business. And this is our magic translator, SEO ROI. That's return on investment. It's the one metric that takes all that technical stuff, all that effort, and turns it into the language everyone in business understands: money. It answers one really, really simple question. For every single dollar we put into SEO, how many do we get back? All right, so we've got our key metric. But you might be wondering, why is focusing on ROI so much more powerful than just, tracking traffic or rankings? Let's really break down what makes it such a game changer. Yeah, this is really where the rubber meets the road. I mean, measuring ROI isn't just about filling out a report. Think of it as a tool. It gives you the cold, hard data you need to justify your budget. It forces you to stop wasting time on those vanity metrics. And maybe most importantly, it finally lets you put SEO on an equal footing with your paid ads so you can see which channel is really pulling its weight. And honestly, this requires a bit of a mindset shift. Think about it. Paid ads are kind of like a sugar rush, right? It's instant gratification. You pay for a click, you see a result, bam. But SEO is the long game. It's more like planting a tree. You're building an asset that's going to pay you back over and over for years to come. It understands that the real customer journey is messy and complex, from that first little spark of curiosity all the way to the final purchase. Okay, so the theory is all well and good, but let's get our hands dirty. How do you actually calculate this for your own business? Well, the good news is it's probably way easier than you think. You really only need 3 core pieces of data, and chances are they're already sitting right there in your Google Analytics. Just think of it like a simple funnel. First, how many people are showing up from search? Second, what percentage of those people actually do something you want them to do? And third, how much is that action worth? That's literally it. And here's the formula itself. Now, don't let the math freak you out. It's the classic ROI calculation you've probably seen before. All we're doing is taking the revenue, the money we made, and subtracting the cost, the money we spent. That gives us our profit. Then we just divide that by our original cost to see how big that profit is compared to what we put in. Simple. Okay, let's run some numbers to make this crystal clear. Let's say your organic search traffic brought in, $15,000 in revenue last month, and your total SEO investment, that's everything, tools, salaries, content, was $2,000. We just take those numbers and plug them straight into that formula. And boom, you get 650%. What does that mean? It means for every single dollar you invested in SEO, you got $6.50 back. Suddenly, that whole abstract value thing doesn't feel so abstract anymore, does it? So, a 650% return is obviously fantastic. But look, that number doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's the result of a very specific recipe. So let's look at the ingredients that go into a high ROI and also some of the common challenges that can trip you up. And I absolutely love this analogy. Thinking of your SEO ROI as a delicious stew, it's just perfect. Because it's not about one single trick or tactic, right? It's about how all these different ingredients simmer together over time to create that amazing final result. So, what are the ingredients for our stew? Well, first, you've got your keyword selection. That's the base of your stew. It brings in people who are already hungry for what you're serving. Then you've got your quality content. That's the meat and potatoes, the real substance that keeps people satisfied and builds trust. Your technical SEO, that's the pot you're cooking in. If it's got holes or it's slow to heat up, the whole thing's a disaster. And finally, off-page optimization, your backlinks. That's the seasoning. Those little votes of confidence from all over the web that add authority and that perfect finishing flavor. But, as any good chef will tell you, even the best recipe has its challenges. There are a few common hurdles that can make getting an accurate taste of your ROI a little tricky. This right here is basically our roadmap for dealing with those challenges. SEO is a long game, so the solution is to track long-term trends, not just panic about last week's sales. Customer journeys are super tangled, so we need to use attribution models that actually give organic search the credit it deserves. Really, the whole point is to just be smarter about what and how we measure, and to focus only on the key performance indicators, the KPIs, that tell the real story. Okay, so we figured out how to calculate the number, and we know what challenges to look out for. Now let's zoom out for the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle. What do you actually do with this number? How do you take it from being just a metric on a report to being a real driving force in your strategy? This is where your ROI becomes your strategic compass. It stops being this thing you just look at in the rearview mirror. It starts telling you where to steer the ship next. It shows you exactly where to put your money to get the highest return. It reveals what content is actually hitting home with your audience. And it can even show you how a really strong organic presence means you can rely less and less on those super expensive paid ads. And that's really the big takeaway here. The goal isn't just to chase a number for the sake of it. It's about using that number as your guide to build a powerful, lasting online presence that really stands the test of time. So the question I want to leave you with isn't just, what's my SEO ROI? The real question is, what is my ROI telling me I need to do next to win?